Hi everybody, it's David. I'm a Spanish pool player here in the Batang tirador studio, and now I'm gonna give you some tips and techniques to improve your pool game, especially if you are a beginner. If you are starting in pool, I'm gonna give you something to learn. And I'm David. I'm a pool player since I was 6 years old, so always playing and loving this game. And I run my YouTube channel, The Billartist, like in Spain. So I'm glad to be here to give you these tips. Let's start from the beginning. If you are wanting to learn to play pool, the first thing important is like the fundamentals: how to stance, how to bridge, how to grip, how to position your body to play pool, and that's the thing that we're gonna talk at the beginning. And the first thing we can talk is like the bridge, the front hand, especially if you are right-handed like me. The front hand is like the left hand, and you can play with two kinds of bridges, like open bridge. It's more like this. We're gonna see now in the table, and closed bridge, which are like this. We're gonna see it right now on the table. I'm gonna show you two kinds of bridges. So you can see the most important thing. It doesn't matter if you prefer open bridge or closed bridge. The important thing is that your hand need to stay stable in the table, as perpendicular to the table as you can. It's not good if you. I'm gonna show you bridges that are not good, and you need to fix it. Like. So you see, these kind of bridges are not stable, so you cannot shoot good. You need to put your bridge, your fingers, in a good way, in a good position to be able to play good. That's a bridge. So let's talk about the second thing, the second hand for a pool player, which is the backhand, like the grip, where you hold the cue, and that's. We can talk about the grip. Imagine if you hold a bird and you want to kill you don't want to kill the bird, so it's not you don't need to hold so hard the grip. You need to hold loose. Then only like with these 2-3 fingers, and then this is a good grip. Not holding so hard. I'm gonna show you. You see, the way I hold the cue is a loose cue, especially Filipino players really loose grip like this. So it depends on you. You can hold it with 3 fingers or 2 fingers or even 1 finger. It depends on you. But the thing is that you don't need to hold it hard. So this is the second thing. The third thing could be the elbow thing, the elbow, the pendulum. It's very important in pool, because normally often mistake that players made is trying to hit hard the ball, moving the arm forward, and it is a mistake. You don't need to move your arm forward. It's more about trying to do a pendulum, like. If you maintain your elbow fixed like here, and you think in a pendulum, like your arm is moving like this without moving the elbow, this is a good a good stroke, good position. So we're gonna watch it. We're gonna see it on a shot on the table. So you can see. Normally, the good thing is to not move the elbow and to create a 90-degree angle in your elbow when you are stroking, when you are hitting the ball. So this is the good thing to do it in the stroke with the elbow. So let's talk about another important thing, very important, like the stance. How to stance in the shot if you are right-handed. How to put your feet, your body, your chest to hit well the ball. Let's gonna see it in the table. But before, if we are right-handed, I normally do like my line of the shot, the right my right arm, right arm and right foot are on the same line. This is the line of the shot. Also my right eye, which is dominant. So in this line of the shot, I put my right foot, and this is the starting point. And then when I have this starting point, I just put my left foot pointing to the pocket. Then I can stay stable, like comfortable, and then I can go down to the shot. I'm gonna show you there in the table, so you can see. So I put right foot trying to watch the line of the shot. Right foot, right arm, right eye, always on the line of the shot, and then put the left foot on pointing to the pocket, like this. You see, then it's easy to aim the ball, to hit the ball, because you are in a good stance. You are good. You are in a good position. It's really important to position your body good before you go down on the shot. I see a lot of players that are going down on the shot and they made adjustments on the shot. They move a little bit. They try to aim when they are down. I think it's a mistake because for me I prefer to aim to position my body good when I am stand up, and then go down and don't do anything special. Don't do any adjustment. Just hit the ball. I think this is the best way to work with. So we have seen the fundamentals. We talked about the bridge, the backhand, the grip, the stance, the most important things, the basics to start play pool. So let's talk about aiming, how to aim the balls, which is a really important thing in pool as well, because the most important thing here is to pocket balls. You need to pocket balls and move good the cue ball. So let's talk about aiming. How to aim. So there are different kinds of aiming systems out there. So let's talk about the most famous, the most known aiming system, which is the ghost ball, and it's really useful to start to learn how to aim. I'm going to show you how it works, the ghost ball, with an example. Let's suppose that you want to make this 4 ball in the corner pocket, and you need to know where is the point of contact, the good point that you need to hit to make this ball. So with the ghost ball, it works like this. You need to imagine a ghost ball besides the object ball, like here, straight on the line of the shot. Yeah, this is straight. Okay, this is the ghost ball. Obviously, if you are in a game or in a competition, you cannot do this. You only do this in practice. But this ghost ball serves us as a reference. So you only need to do a line between the cue ball and the center of this ghost ball, and that's the line of the shot. That's the point of aim, the aiming point where you need to hit the ball. When you remove this ball, this point, this center of the ghost ball, is the point of where you need to aim in this kind of shot. It doesn't matter where the cue ball is. If the cue ball is here, that's the same ghost ball. Okay. If the cue ball is here, it doesn't matter. You only need to aim in the center of this ghost ball. And I think that's a good reference point to start playing, to aim correctly. So let's see how it works. So you can see it's easy to aim when you have this reference line. Obviously, this is a easy shot. When it's you have a difficult shot, it's more difficult to aim. But for the beginning, this is a good example. And also with the ghost system, you can use another trick or another tip when you are especially in competition and you cannot put the ghost ball in there. And I'm gonna show you this trick or this tip in this same situation. So let's suppose that you need to make this ball here. So what I'm doing with the ghost ball method, the ghost ball system, is write a straight line to the pocket between the object ball through the pocket, straight line, and then move the cue stick half a ball away of this ball, half a ball away, and then without moving the tip, the cue tip, then I move the cue to the center of the cue ball. And here is the same point of aim, the aiming point that we have seen before with the ghost ball. This is the same aiming point. If if I hit the ball like in this aiming point, it's probably I'm gonna make this ball. You see, it's easy to pocket balls when you are using these reference lines. Again. Okay, this system works, the ghost ball, and I really use it when I have a difficult shot, like a thin shot, very or shot under pressure, to make sure that where I need to hit the ball. If you have a thinner shot, like cut shot, like this, you can use it as well. Yeah, you can use it. Okay, aiming, I think enough for the aiming, like the fundamentals aiming or basic aiming. We're gonna move to another important topic or thing in pool, in terms of learning or starting to play pool. Like is the different kind of shots, like the most used shots in pool. You're gonna see like draw shot, follow shot, and then English shots. Let's start from the for the beginning, like the follow shot, the forward shot. When you need to console the cue ball and to make sure that the cue ball goes forward after hitting an object ball, you mean you are doing a follow shot. I'm gonna show you the follow shot, how it is, and then how it works. Okay, you see that the cue ball goes forward when it hits the object ball. So hit the object ball and goes forward. How is it possible? Well, imagine that the cue ball is a watch, and you have all the hours in this watch. So if I play a follow shot, I need to play the cue ball. I need to hit the cue ball at the top of the cue ball, maybe at around 12 in this watch. So it's gonna make a follow shot because of the rotation of the cue ball. The cue ball, when you hit in the top, like in 12, it's rolling like this, rolling forward, then hits the object ball and then goes forward. This is the follow shot. If you need to make a draw shot, it's like going backwards after hitting the object ball. You don't need to hit like 12, you need to hit at 6 in this watch. So if you hit at 6, the cue ball is rolling like this, then hits the object ball, then goes backwards. You're gonna see again the follow shot and the draw shot. Follow shot. shot. And then, if it's not follow or draw, if it's a stop shot, very often used the stop shot to stop the cue ball, where is the object ball. You need to play like center ball in the cue ball, or one tip below the center, above the center. Sorry. That's the way to make to do a good stop shot. Okay, this is a stop shot, but it depends on the distance between the cue ball and the object ball. If the distance is close, like two diamond 2 points distance, you need to hit the cue ball in the center to make a stop shot, like we did. But if the distance is farther than this, let's suppose that the distance is half a table, then you need to hit harder in the cue ball and lower, because of the energy of the cue ball. It's gonna be more. You need more energy to make this stop shot. Let's see an example, and I show you why. What happened here? I played down on the cue ball. I hit it like to do a draw, but the cue ball it doesn't make any draw. This is because the distance. There are a lot of distance between the cue ball and the object ball, and you need more energy. You need to hit harder the cue ball to get backwards after hitting the object ball. So with more energy, with more power shot, you can draw back the cue ball wherever you want. So when you think about kinds of shots, you have the follow shot, it's going forward, the draw shot going backward, the stop shot, it stops the cue ball, and then you have a very typical or often used shot, which is the stand shot. Stand shot is it's really good to positional play, to move the cue ball wherever you want, and I'm gonna show you some different kinds of stand shot to know how can you do it, this kind of shot. Okay, imagine that you are playing in 9 ball. You need to play with a numerical order. First the blue ball is 2 ball, then the red ball 3, and then the pink 4. So you can stun this stun shot to pocket this ball here, and then to move the cue ball in this way, in this position. So you stun the cue ball here, and then goes like this. For this kind of shot, you need to play one tip below the center of the cue ball, between center and one tip below. So I made a mistake too hard this shot. We're gonna try again. Very important to put shock before each shot. It doesn't matter. Imagine that the ball goes in. What I suggest you that is to try to practice a lot the stand shot, because it's the one of the most used stand shots in games, in normal competitions. And another kind of thing important in pool, but I think it's more advanced, but we can talk about it in some way, is the English. The how to use the English, how to put some spin on the cue ball, like left or right spin, to move the cue ball in a special way, to move the cue ball wherever you want. Let's talk about English in a few moments. So normally, if you are a beginner, if you are starting to play pool, I suggest you to hit the cue ball in the center, just in the center of the cue ball. This is easy to pocket the balls. This is easy to start playing. If you hit the cue ball wrongly in the right side or left side, or at the bottom or in the top, it's gonna be more difficult to pocket the ball. But if you are able to pocket balls in playing center ball, then you can start to thinking about English. What's English? English is to put spin on the cue ball, like left or right spin. If you play left left hand side English, so for you is this is left, for me is right. Then the cue ball is gonna spin like this, and then after hitting the ball and after hitting the rail, it's gonna make a different. It's gonna change his path to another kind of path. If you play right left English, it's gonna move more to the left than normal. If you play right English, it's gonna move more to the right than normal. And like we said in draw shot, follow shot, we can think about English with the clock, with a watch. If you play left hand, you are playing like in 9 o'clock. If you playing right hand, you are hitting the cue ball in the 3 o'clock. So that's the thing to think about the English. We're gonna try different kinds of English to show you how to do it. Okay. Maybe you can see also if we hit the cue ball directly straight to the rail to see the difference between left, right and this kind of English. If you play a normal shot, like play center on the cue ball, you play like this, the cue ball is gonna go like almost in the same place, or if you hit a little bit on the left on the center, maybe like this. But if you play with left hand side, let's talk about 9 p.m. on the clock. If you play 9 p.m., then the cue ball hits the rail and goes almost one diamond distance from the beginning. So maybe it hits around here. Let's try. Okay. If you play more to the left, you're gonna move more to the left, like in this pocket. Almost in this pocket. Then if you play on the right hand side of the cue ball, like here, 3 p.m., you're gonna go to the right after hitting the rail. If you play with not too much English, like between the center ball and 3 p.m., like here, you're gonna hit maybe this diamond. If you hit on the right hand side, like 3 p.m., then you're gonna make the cue ball in the pocket. So we try first this diamond, just one tip on the right, one tip to the right from the center of the cue ball. Then we hit first diamond. Then we try 2 tips right to the center of the cue ball, which is 3 p.m. on the clock, like here, and we try to make the cue ball in the side pocket. Okay, almost there. We did it almost. So the system is it works. And in terms of English, this is a good kind of drill. If you are starting, if you are beginning to play, just play with the cue ball. Just try to hit the rail and make sure that it moves differently if you play left hand, right hand English. Even if you are playing with English and applying some follow or draw shot, it gonna makes the cue ball moves differently. It's not the same that you play a shot with follow left hand side than draw left hand side. I can show you the difference. The difference is if you play follow, then the cue ball goes like here, but if you play draw with the same amount of English, it goes more to the left side. I'm gonna show you first follow. Okay, this is follow, English with follow. I'm gonna try draw with follow. Draw with English, excuse me. So you see the difference? English with follow, draw with English. Then what happened? What happened if you are hitting not the front rail, but the back rail? For example, when we have draw shot like this. Like this, imagine that you need to pocket this ball there, and you need to draw the ball backwards, hit this rail, and then spin it to the right to position for the 4 ball. Then you need to apply some English. But like we said, if I want to go to the right, should I need to play right English, right hand side? Well, if you hit the front rail, is it like this? You need to hit on the right. But now you are hitting the back rail. So the rotation of the cue ball, if you hit on the right, the rotation is gonna do like this. You see it? Like this. So that's why if you put this rotation in that rail, it goes to the right. But this same rotation, like this rotation, if you put this rotation in that rail, it's gonna move to the other side, to the left. See? Okay, this is the same rotation. This right hand side English, but in this rail it goes to the other side. So what I say is, in this kind of shot, you need to apply reverse English to make the cue ball goes to the right. In this situation, I need to put left draw English, like here, around between 6 and 9. It will be maybe 7 o'clock, in the 7 o'clock. So then you can hit this rail and the cue ball goes like here. Let's try it. Let's try again. With a bit of shock. Okay. So you see the spin, left hand side English, and the cue ball hits the rail and goes to the right. It's reverse. When you hit the back rail, it's reverse. When you hit the front rail, it's the same. Try again. Oh, it's better, powerful shot, and I have a good position to hit the last ball and make the run out. So this is the English tips or English techniques when you need to put some special spin on the cue ball. Let's talk about how to move the cue ball, how to control the position of the cue ball, which is a very important topic in pool. It's not only about to pocket balls, it's more about control the cue ball. So if you are able if you have a good aiming, if you pocket a lot of balls, but if you don't move this cue ball good, then you're gonna miss the next shots. So it's important to control this ball very good. So how can I control this? How can I manage? How can I know where it goes after hitting balls or after hitting rails? So we have different kind of rules or theories, systems to know the path of the cue ball where after hitting an object ball. One of the most famous rules is like the 90-degree rule. It's like it goes like this. When you have a shot like this, this is the line of the shot, and this 90-degree rule says that the cue ball is gonna follow a path between a 90-degree after hitting this ball. If you play center ball, if you don't apply English, follow or draw, if you play center, it's gonna follow this 90-degree angle. So you can anticipate that the cue ball is gonna move, it's gonna go maybe around this point. So you can manage to position the cue ball in two rails for another shot. Let's see. So around this point. Playing only center ball. If you play low or if you play top on the cue ball, it's gonna affect this rule. It's not a 90-degree rule. I'm gonna show you the difference. So you have seen that if you play center ball, the cue ball goes like here for a 90-degree angle path. So what happens if I pocket this ball and if I hit the cue ball in the top like a follow shot, then it's not 90-degree angle, is more than wider angle. Gonna hit the rail more to the right because we are applying follow. Then the cue ball hits this object ball and then tries to go more forward than backward. So you see, the cue ball hits the rail more to the right. Then what happens if you hit the cue ball low? If you do a draw shot, probably because we have the pocket here, you're gonna scratch the cue ball here. If you play a low hit, if you play low on the cue ball, you're gonna see. It's gonna see. Okay, almost scratch. I try to miss the pocket, but you are gonna scratch often if you play this kind of shot. So that's a good rule, the 90-degree rule, to know to notice the path of the cue ball after hitting a ball, after hitting rails. But there another important thing, which is the speed of the cue ball. The speed of it makes the movement. So if you play with more speed or less speed, it's very important in terms of positional play. So if you need to move a lot the cue ball, obviously you need to play with more speed. Use more speed on this cue ball. And if you want to move less the cue ball, you're gonna play with less speed. And how can I control the speed? How can I feel it? Well, you can practice some drill to be able to know how to play with this kind of speed. Let's say, for example, a good drill for speed control is like playing with only with the cue ball and trying to do different things, different speeds to feel this kind of speed. For example, I'm gonna show you different shots and then I'm gonna display you. So this is a kind of soft shot with less speed, like a little bit of speed, only to make sure that the cue ball goes here. But we can double this speed, like doing a lag shot, hitting this rail and then going back. This is good to feel the speed, to feel the cue ball. So with the lag shot, we are trying to arrange the cue ball near to the back rail. So this is we can say speed 2. The first one was speed 1. This is speed 2, and you can make different kind of speeds in this same drill. So you will be able to feel this speed, to feel how to shoot the balls. Let's try now to hit this rail, then hit this rail, and then try to finish the cue ball in the middle of in the center of the table. center. This is good for practice for feeling the speed. Let's try now. Hit this rail, then this rail, and then try to land here on this part of the table. Okay, almost there. You can practice this kind of speed drill only with the cue ball to make sure that you feel good the cue ball. Then you can make good shots, a good positional play. So let's talk about drills or some exercises that you can do it if you are a beginner, if you are starting, like a practice basic drills. For example, a drill which is very interesting if you are a beginner is just simple as put some balls, like 2 balls on the table, and then try to run out these balls. If you make these 2 balls, then you start again with 3 balls. If you make these 3 balls, then you start again with 4 balls, and keep going with it. This is good for practice. What time do we have open?
Just keep on rolling. You've been on for about 45 minutes. Just keep on rolling if you like.
Okay, I made the 2 balls, so now I'm doing the same thing but with 3 balls, random position. What happens if you scratch or if you miss the ball, you start again with 2 balls because you missed this drill. This is a good for practice for pocketing balls, and I think that another drill you can try is like a 4 balls drill. Also for beginners, I think it's a good drill. It's this drill. This drill you start in bowling hand, and you need to pocket the balls in order, like 1, 2, 3, 4. You need to run out the table. So if you are able to run out, then you can put it some other ball like here in the center, maybe the 5 ball, and then follow it. So we're gonna try this 4 balls drill. Okay, I made this drill, so now I can put the 5th ball like here with the 4 balls here and do it again to practice. Another good drill for learning, for starting to play, is like the line drill, very common. Like put a line of balls like here, line of balls, and then you can just pocket the ball at the beginning, and then you can practice the follow or the draw shot. You're gonna practice first only a stop shot, like pocketing the ball, and then follows and retros. So this is the line. This is the line of the drill, the line drill, and then you need to pocket all of these balls in these two corner pockets. We're gonna start only with a stop shot to make it easy, especially for the beginners. And then if you move the cue ball away from the object ball, like 2 or 3 diamonds farther than this, you're gonna practice a more difficult shot. But for the beginning, it's good to 1 diamond distance. We're gonna do the stop shot drill first. So you see how it goes. I'm gonna try to move the cue ball backward, so you have more distance between the cue ball and the object ball. If you have more distance, the shot is more difficult, so you can practice a difficult shot. Obviously, you need to practice, and make the drill from the beginning to the end. And also, if you wanna practice the cue ball control, the cue ball positioning, and the follow or draw shot, you can use also this drill, because it's really good to pocket balls and also move the cue ball. For example, let's suppose that you're gonna shoot the 6 ball, the green ball, then you pocket this ball here, and if you want to practice the follow shot, then you do a follow, you play on top of the cue ball, and then you try to land the cue ball almost to the rail. This is with the follow shot. And if you want to do the reverse, if you want to draw back the cue ball, you play on low, you play at the bottom of the cue ball, then you pocket this ball here, and then try to land the cue ball to the other rail. We're gonna try the both shots. You see, if you hit the cue ball in top, then you can do it the follow shot, land the cue ball near this rail. If you hit draw back the draw shot, you hit the cue ball at the bottom, and then you land the cue ball the other kind of rail. So this is also a good drill to pocketing and also to control the practice follow and draw shots. So before we finish this instructional intense video, I'm gonna give you some tips or tricks that I think that are really important in terms of pull. Some tips about aiming, some tips about stance, some tips about mental game, because it's pull is really a mental game. Maybe 4 or 5 tips, and then we can finish this instructional video. I hope you are enjoyed it, and you learn it a lot. Let's talk about first tip. I think it's really important to think on the shot only when you are stand, not think about the shot, or not make any adjustments when you are down on the shot. I see a lot of players that are going down on the shot and then adjust something in the shot and then hit the ball, but this is not good, because you cannot control the focus, the concentration. So for me it's better to think on the shot, try to think where I want to hit the object ball, where I want to move the cue ball, what's happening there, and then if I'm okay, if I'm ready, then I can align my right foot, left foot, my dominant eye. Then I go down on the shot, and when I go down, I do not do anything else than hitting the ball, than shooting. So go down and shoot. No adjustments, no movements, anything. If I'm down on the shot and suddenly I have a thought, I have something in my mind, I think I'm gonna miss the shot or something like this, then suddenly what I need to do is to go back, to stand up again, think about the shot, put some shock, and then go down again. So think about another time, take your time, and then go down again. So I think it's easier to avoid to make mistakes, because if you are down on the shot and you have bad thoughts, bad thinking, then it's probably you're gonna miss the ball, and you don't want to miss the ball, obviously. So second tip, really important, play center ball. The pro players often they play only if they can, if they are able to move the cue ball well, they only play in center ball. They play in the middle of the cue ball. They don't play English if they don't need to do something special with the cue ball. And that's the reason why you should play also with center ball, because if pro players are doing this, you need to do this also. So play center ball, it's easier to make balls, it's easier to avoid mistakes. So remember another tip. Remember that the grip, the backhand is not hard. You don't need to hold hard the cue ball, the cue stick. You need to hold like loose and then move the arm like a pendulum. It's not doing something like this or something, or moving your arm, your elbow like this. It's like natural movement like this, and then you will have a good stroke. That's a tip, important thing to remember. Uh, in terms of brake, we didn't talk about brake or safeties or bank shots or any kind of special shots, because maybe we can do it another instructional video and talk about it. But if you have some time, we can try some brake to know how to brake in different kinds of games, in 10 ball, in 9 ball, or even in 8 ball. We're gonna try the 9 ball and 10 ball brake. Yeah, so you can know how to aim the triangle, how to aim the pack, and how to control the cue ball in brake. We're gonna brake first in 9 ball, 10 ball, and then we finish this. Okay, with a 9 ball brake, normally good players, pro players, they brake from the side, like right side or left side, and they try to hit the one ball not so straight, not that straight, a little bit on the right of the one ball, just a little bit, and then they try to move the cue ball like in this diamond, maybe this, and then try to land the cue ball in the center of the table, because if the cue ball lands on the center of the table, then you have different kinds of different situation, different position. It's easy to continue the break. So we're gonna try this break, this powerful break, trying to hit the one here, and then trying to control the cue ball here. So you saw, it's not a good break in terms of the rack is packed, but the cue ball, you saw that hits here and then goes that way, little bit hard, little bit more to that way, but we think it's to be able to control the cue ball here. We're gonna try now the 10 ball break, which is different break, and you really know how to play this. Okay, so the 10 ball break, it's different than the 9 ball, because we have one more ball, we have a little triangle, and then normally we break from this point, not on the center of the table, in this point or maybe in the other side. Then you try to hit straight to the one ball, then the cue ball goes back, goes like for here, and then try to stop again to the center of the table. That will be a good break. Sometimes the cue ball, it's jumping a little bit and then lands like here, and especially in the 10 ball break, it's good to elevate the cue a little bit on the back, so you can do a very good break with this elevation. We're gonna try this 10 ball break.
Papalit ba na akin? Kung sa angkin ka lang.
So I think it's good enough break because I made the ball and the cue ball maybe lands two on this side of the table, but it's okay because the one is there, so I can follow the sequence. I can try to run out the table. That's a break in 10 ball. If you play 8 ball like solid stripes, American pool, maybe you can break from the center of the table, like this spot. Try to hit the first ball in the rack, and then try again to land the cue ball on the center of the table. The important thing in the break is to control the strong you hit, the speed of the cue ball, and to control the aiming point. Because of you are hitting so fast, so strong, so it's difficult sometimes to not make a mistake, not change the line. So I suggest you that you need to try softer break at the beginning to control the aiming point, the aiming line, and then if you are able to hit the first ball straight in the center, then you can try a more harder shot, a more stronger speed. So then you can make an adjustment. So I think for now it's enough. We talked about a lot of things in pool. If you are a beginner, maybe you have now a lot of things in mind, but the most important thing is to put it on the table to practice these things, from the fundamentals to the shot making to the stand shot, follow shot, draw shot, English, and also break and other kind of shots. The important thing is practice, practice, practice. Practice makes perfect always. So I hope you enjoyed this instructional video here in the studio of Batang Tirador. I'm David Munoz. I'm a pool player from Spain. I also have a YouTube channel, The Billartist. You can check it. It's like instructional videos in Spanish, like tips, tricks, and some matches. And yeah, it was a really pleasure to be here with you, to share my passion in pool with Batang Tirador, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you! Thank you, David. Okay.
Thank you.
Wala pala. No, practice. Practice makes perfect, Alan. Did you hear that? You practice so you can do 17 racks.
17 racks.
Oh, yeah, 17 racks. Okay, rest, my friend.
Yep.
Let him
Thank you.
practice. Yeah. He wants to...
Still recording?
Okay.
Okay na. Tingnan natin.
Baka matatang ko po.
Oh, nice.
Alam mo, kung hindi mo kaya,
Thank you.